Bam, we're live. Good morning. Brian, what's up, dude? I got a text this morning from a listener in Canada saying that the show is being suppressed in Canada. And it's funny, Susan and I have been talking about it for a few months. They never serve me up my own show. So if like Sousa's on or JR and Taylor are on, I never get it served up. Even if I go to YouTube, like I'll go to YouTube and I'll go to my homepage and they never offer me up my own podcast when it's live. It's fucking bizarre. So weird. Does anyone else have that issue? And he said he had to type in the entire name before it populated on YouTube. Weird. I wonder if it's all the swearing. I mean, I understood, 6 months ago censorship was high. I have a YouTube I don't know what it's called, YouTube ambassador, YouTube. I think what happens is I don't know what the metrics are or how they decide, but after a while, after we've been on, I don't know if it's number of subscribers or number of views or ranking in the YouTube rankings or whatever, but a year ago, someone contacted us from YouTube and said, "Hey, we're going to give you a YouTube liaison, a YouTube." I don't know who it is, but it's someone I meet with, every couple months, and we just chat and they show me new features and shit like that. It's a quick meeting, 30 minutes, an hour. And I asked her, I said, "Hey, is YouTube still following the WHO guidelines? You guys remember that that's the World Health Organization, and Trump pulled out of that org. I think that was a org that's basically controlled by the UN and the Chinese. And one of the times that this station, actually the only time this station actually got pulled off of YouTube for a week, we had our live streaming rights taken away for a week, was when I said that exercise and nutrition was the best hedge against all disease. And they pulled the station down for a week, saying that breaks WHO guidelines. I wonder if those are gone too. I asked my YouTube ambassador, that lady I was telling you about, "Hey, do you guys still follow WHO guidelines?" But she didn't know the answer. So I wonder what is going on over there. I feel like they cleaned house at Twitter. Mark Zuckerberg seems to have changed some things on Instagram. My Instagram account's finally growing. It's a trip. I'm putting on followers every day now. There was a while where just nothing. Random question. What happened to Miko Salo? I think he's well and strong. When I see him on Instagram, I think he's live, well and strong. I need to get him on the show. I can't believe I really like Miko. Miko's awesome. Good morning, Fergie. Good morning. Good morning, Marisa. Hinojosa. You're early and I'm not ready. Well, unzip your pants and pull it out. I was texting with Greg this morning, so I assume he's awake. I'm assuming he'll be here. He'll cruise in. I watched all 3 hours. Was it 3 hours last night? How long was the Trump up last night? How does he do that at 79? That was crazy. I want to know how much of it is, hey, Pat, Mr. Lang, what's up, dude? I want to know how much of it was ad-libbed. Whatever happened to Gary Roberts? I text Gary and we exchanged pleasantries. Hopefully, remind me at the end of the show. I'll send him a text and I got to get him on. I watched, I went right to sleep. Was it long? Was it 3 hours? Cocaine? Maybe. I didn't see him wipe his nose. It was pretty incredible. I have to guess, the whole time I was just imagining being one of my lib friends. They must be so pissed. 101 minutes. Okay. No. It was longer than that. It was definitely what than that. Yeah, a little over 2 hours, Josh said. Oh, it was the longest ever? Is that true? What would I Google? Longest ever congressional president speech. Trump just gave the longest annual presidential address to Congress ever. Wow. I don't know. Oh, shit. My mic's having serious issues. It fell off the table yesterday. I enjoyed every minute. As the buildup of it came, I felt like I felt like it was a UFC fight I was watching. I had that kind of excitement. I was like, "Holy shit, here we go, the main event." No, it had to have been longer than really, it had to I thought it clearly went over 2 hours. Let me click this and see how long, Politico says it was. Oh, 1 hour and 40 minutes. Okay. Wow. It seemed like it was 2 hours and 40 minutes to me. It just kept going and going and going. You can get this CEO shirt, by the way, at Vindicate, VNDK8.com. Great shirt. This is a large. Looking jacked in the CEO shirt. I felt jacked this morning. Got in the shower. I'm like, whose body is this? Feel good. I'm stuffy. I'm all sinusy. I think it's from the Arizona weather. I wonder how much of his speech is ad-libbed. Obviously, the Pocahontas line wasn't ad-libbed, right? I'm guessing Elizabeth Warren piped up, and then he's like, "Yeah, you Pocahontas." I'm guessing. And then they showed her clapping, and she was kind of like shaking. I think she might have like Parkinson's or something. I'd have to guess it's all authenticity. Could you imagine being fake versus authentic? How your energy would compare between the two from day to day? Yeah, I think that's the only reason why he can do stuff like Rogan. 3 hours of just chatting, letting the conversation go where it goes. I have to assume it's. I think it's pretty damn authentic too. Jeez. The lighter setting surrounding you looks good, Sevon. Oh, I know. I've always thought my set looks dark. 2 days after I set up my podcast room, I wanted to change it. I want someone else to do it. I don't want to do it. It's too much work. It's a lot of work. The commitment's crazy too. It'll be, I don't know how many hours it'll be, but I don't know if it's 2 hours or 8 hours, but it's the kind of thing once you start, you have to stop. You can't stop, right? I can't take down the podcast room and then be like, oh, I'll get to it tomorrow. It has to be up by the next morning. So what am I going to do? You look skinny. That would be awesome. I would love to be Bruce Lee skinny. And I wonder, he read the Zelensky message, right? And I wonder what the implications of that are. I wonder. Look fit. I've only worked out. I've only really worked out twice since I hurt my back. I did the open, and then I worked out yesterday in Greg's garage, and it was horrible. Almost embarrassed to tell you what I did because it was so bad. I did 10 burpees on the minute. Then the next minute I did 5 chest to bar pull ups, and then the next minute I did 5 95-pound squat cleans, and I just did that for 30 minutes, and I was fucked up for like 30 minutes after that. And I was resting. It took I had 30 seconds rest after every minute. I was resting like half the fucking time. But I was worked. I was a mess. I did it with my wife. It was her second workout, and she just walked away and went inside and hung out with all the people at Greg's house. It was at the birthday party yesterday there. Oh, I have no issue with Dave Portnoy. I'm glad you brought that up. I love Dave Portnoy is great. I have no issue with Dave Portnoy. It's once again, oh, Kyle, thank you so much for bringing that up. I wonder if I have that video somewhere. Let me see if I can bring that video up. Let me see if I can bring that video up. Some of you have been really helping by the way. Some of you have been calling me and texting me and just dropping me little fucking nuggets. Oh, here it is. Let me show you this video real. Let me see if I can pull this up. Give me 1 second.
Dancing to the pounding music of color that parties promote an atmosphere that puts women at risk.
Okay, so this is an interview Dave Portnoy did. I don't know if this is 60 Minutes or what this is, but here we go.
You posted the following on your site. I never condone rape, but if you're a size 6 and you're wearing skinny jeans, you kind of deserve to be raped.
If you're a size 6 and you wear skinny jeans, you deserve to be raped. That's what Dave Portnoy said. And then he goes on. Let me let him finish because the context is important.
Correct. I stand by that. I think it's a funny joke.
You think rape is funny?
No, I didn't say that. I think it's a funny joke.
Do you understand how offensive that is?
No, I obviously don't.
No, I obviously don't. Hey, so here's the deal. Here's what I thought was just wild about that. You have a company like Noble, who is constantly talking about you know, affiliating with Outwad and forcing people to take vaccines in order to keep employed, and yet now Noble sponsors Dave Portnoy's podcast, and I would never say anything like that. I would never suggest that anyone deserves to be raped. It's like nobody. I don't even want to see Bin Laden get raped. Good morning, Greg.
Brother.
Hey, good. I was just laughing that Noble now sponsors Dave Portnoy's podcast, but for, you know, the years that they were around for CrossFit, they were like the holier than thou moral beacon of moral, you know, integrity and family, and we accept everyone, you know, we accept pedos and men and women's sports and child gender mutilation and just whatever the fuck they were supporting, and now they sponsor Dave Portnoy. And I like Dave Portnoy. Like, go get it. Go do your thing. I don't judge him for that. Do your thing. But
yeah, there's a lot there.
Portnoy
isn't that the Barstool?
Yeah, sports guy. Yeah.
Sports dude.
And, you know, he says he was joking when he said that, and that's cool. You know,
what was the context? How do you put that in a good context?
I don't know. Andrew Dice Clay, I guess, style comedian. But it's Tom Brady's company now. Yeah.
Clay was fucking funny.
Yeah. Well, especially for his time too, right? I don't think his jokes come off as good now. I mean, I like him. I like his delivery. I like his showmanship. Smoking the cigarette behind the head was just, you know, so absurd. Like I always thought that was him making fun of himself.
Yeah, it was clearly an act, right?
Yeah.
With costume, and
it's just like, you know what got me on this kick yesterday is it's what I was like saying. I was saying this on the podcast the other day. There's some Reddit threads and there's like a lot of crazy stuff in there. Like, I hope Greg Glassman drowns and he holds Sevon as he goes to the bottom, you know? And I'm thinking to myself, and there's a lot of like stuff like that. I'm thinking to myself, I would never wish anyone drown. Yeah. Like you have a problem with me because you think I make off colored jokes and I use the word retard, but I would never wish anyone die. This is the only podcast that has a gay host or a black host. We have the biggest female show in the CrossFit space with a female host. It's like every metric that they would love, we do. You know what I mean? We give money away to games athletes. We are the only ones who interview disabled athletes on the regular. I mean, just all that shit. But yet you say the most vile things. You would wish we drown. And I was just tripping on it. I mean, I don't care that they say that, but I just see this disconnect. Like, that's where your humanity's at. You draw the line at wanting us to die, but I'm just treating retards, blacks, and white people all the same. It's like, it's just I don't, these poor people. I kind of feel sorry for these people a little bit. They're gonna die a life of just misery. Just chill, have fun.
They're already miserable.
Yeah. Someone sent me a clip.
Imagine the hardship, the challenges of navigating this universe where the most important thing in that universe for you, and this is true without you even being aware of it. You don't even know, but your entire life is guided by the absurdity and impossibility of everyone loving you.
Mm.
And it's they want to be cool.
Mm.
They don't really have those feelings. I told Red I wanted to help him with the chores because I knew he was getting behind. It's a fucked up thing to be held responsible for all the boxes, and they accumulate at a rate faster than they can be torn down. So I'm going to help you so you don't feel that way.
Yeah, yeah.
He goes, feel like what? And I go, well, when you go to bed at night and you haven't finished your chores and you don't feel right.
Mm.
He goes, that's not a feeling. I go, what do you mean? He goes, nobody feels like that. It's not. He's just outright calling bullshit on it. Nothing. And I go, okay, I got it. And I go, here's the deal though. I'm gonna force that on you. That's gonna be my gift to you. I'm gonna get it. So when you go to bed at night and you didn't do all that shit, you're gonna feel bad. And you can say, my dad gave me that.
Yeah.
But that's what's gonna happen. You're gonna acquire that value. It's gonna be part of like school.
Right.
You're gonna be taught that.
Yep.
So if you got a big list of to-dos and you go to bed and none of them got done, you're gonna feel bad about it. He's like, wow, okay. Hey, I was tripping yesterday on the baby. You know the beautiful
your
thing?
baby or the 2 dozen babies at your house? Oh,
Right.
your baby. Yeah, okay.
My little 6-month-old. I don't know what the significance of this is, but it hit me, kind of slowed me down, got me thinking for too long. But you bring a brand new baby home from the hospital in your very own big airplane. It doesn't matter the circumstance or how unnatural the environment is. You're seeing this glimpse of a wild human being. You know, it's I guess as close as you're ever going to get without something having been imprinted or taught or some artifice of our modern life, you know?
A feral human.
Yeah, there it is. I mean, it's now she smiles, you know?
Right.
You got poop, pee, and smiling. And it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah. 10. You have 10.
Yeah, beautiful things.
Hey, is your oldest still coming?
Yeah, Blake's here.
Oh, okay. He showed up this morning?
I think he arrived last night. He's not here at the house yet. But.
Oh, okay. Yeah, your house was awesome last night, dude.
I'm sorry?
Your house was awesome last night. 25 kids, 30 kids running around, kids in the pool, kids playing, drawing. Yeah, it was amazing. I love the scene there.
We've done something that is on a par with the Chimeneas in terms of, you know, like architectural digest significant to the lifestyle. But the admixture of a dog kennel and art room, it's just sheer genius.
Tell me, why is that?
I don't know. I'm just ready to put a chain link fence up and just anything like, what the fuck is this? It goes in there.
That room is wild. Did you go in there last night when the party was in there?
Like,
It was
there's no art that's diminished by dog hair.
right.
It just gets better, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, Dave. It was like an Epstein party, except for the perverts. You're right. I was glued to the TV last night. I swear it was like, Greg, I was as excited as like a UFC fight night. Yeah, it was. I thoroughly enjoyed it. How do you think he did? How would you grade his performance? You weren't as stoked on it, huh?
Oh no. Yeah, what did I think?
Any Jeopardy music?
Yeah, I don't know. I enjoy him and the discomfort he causes.
Yeah, I did too. I did kind of imagine my lib friends a few times. I'm like, God, they must be hating this.
it maybe it makes me evil, but my favorite thing about my liberal friends and family is their discomfort.
they
I
were
enjoy that
right.
more than their presence.
Yeah.
In fact, I want them around because I know they're miserable. And I just like to watch it.
Sevon, was there cake? And dude, there was everything. There was like the plates with all the broccoli and carrots and the dips, and there was more steak than any human being could eat, and there were fancy cupcakes, and I'm telling you, it was crazy. And then in the middle of all of this chaos, there's a huge 90-inch TV or 100-inch TV with Trump on it. It was like heaven to me. Kids coming in and out of the pool, dogs around. Dog put his tail in my steak dish. DOG did.
Did he?
Yeah. And then put his head on my lap while I ate my dinner. It was good morning, Pedro. God, I love seeing you in the chat. On national radio yesterday, Greg, you should go on this dude's podcast. This dude's so cool. Irish CrossFitter. Lost so much weight and is just he's an inspiration to me. Great interviewer. On national radio yesterday, an expert stated that obesity is a disease that people have and poor nutrition brings it out. And that it should be treated like other diseases by medicine.
I'll throw a wrench in all of that. Maybe, I don't know if it's even a wrench in it. Maybe it's lubricant. But I want to be put in front of an assemblage of an assembly, maybe is the better parsing, of psychiatrists and explain to them that diabetes is a mental illness and they're ignoring it.
Mm-hmm.
It's the result of two willful behaviors, one of which seems to be obviously addictive to those that study it. The other, you don't have to think too hard about it and look too hard to see at least that potential. It's worth having the discussion. So I got willful behaviors, addictive behaviors that are a lead cause of physiological derangement, ignored by the very specialty within whose wheelhouse this sits. It'd be imagine trying to take addiction from psychiatry, and maybe they are willing to. I don't know. I don't know the state of that is. I probably know more about the American Academy or College of Pediatrics than I do psychiatrists. But it is bizarre to me that there's no inputs.
You say it's in their wheelhouse, but they don't have it in their wheelhouse for what? For diagnosis, but they don't have a cure, right? The psychiatrists don't have the tools to cure obesity, right?
I don't know. I'll let you decide. Do they have the cures for any mental illness?
I heard a psychiatrist, a Harvard psychiatrist.
So they don't. So what? Why? So we don't expect that of them. So what do they do? What is the claim?
I guess they just diagnose stuff and then talk to you about it, and then maybe give you some pills that have never worked. That they admitted that they don't cure any disease.
Right. There's always prefrontal lobotomy and chemical castration, and they've had their tools and issues. I really like the spinning chair. Have you ever seen that?
No, there's a spinning chair therapy.
Yeah.
What's that supposed to fix?
Like anything, buddy.
It's like cocaine, it just fixes everything.
Oh, spinning chair for autism. I had no idea.
Wow. That doesn't sound fun. What did you look up? Spinning chair, psychiatric cure?
Spinning chairs, also known as whirling chairs or gyrating chairs, are once used to treat mental illness like mania, hyperactivity, and schizophrenia. Wow. I spin you so fucking fast, you make sense.
You'll stop behaving like that.
Yeah. Fucking amazing.
A friend of mine got married.
The efficacy of the thing is, I don't know how relevant that is. It's in their wheelhouse by what you'd presume to be their charter. I mean, look, what do you think if you've done something to your foot and the orthopod who's in a practice of foot surgeons is drawn a blank?
Well, that's what happened to my son.
I mean, imagine coming into the yeah. You look.
We got an X-ray. They said he had a broken toe, and 4 months later, what are you supposed to do? Nothing. Just stay off the foot. 4 months later, go broken.
Are you getting medical treatment in Santa Cruz?
We did the first doctor visit.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
It's on a 1 to 10. It's a 1, huh? -5.
That's the standard of care.
Yeah.
Utter and complete incompetence.
And then we went to Newport Beach, and the guy's like, "Dude, put a boot on it for 4 weeks. It'll be fine." Put a boot on it for 4 weeks. Now it's and we just took it off before he came to your house, and he's fine. Yeah, it's bad.
Were I a physician in a area of low density population, I would see it as my obligation and opportunity to screen what I could from a general population and treat effectively or guide towards treatment. Were it not for me, it may have gone undiagnosed, misdiagnosed, or ignored. It's a weird thing. It's a weird thing being a doctor there.
During last night's up, Trump at one point pointed to, he looked over and pointed to the Democrats, and he called them lunatics. He said and we're done with the lunatics on the left and their woke shit, basically. You think that that's too harsh just to be in the room with those people and just call them lunatics? I was talking about it with Haley last night, but some of their policies and thoughts, they are lunatics. But I don't know if you're supposed to call them that. But to suggest that men can go into women's locker rooms or men can go into women's prisons, this does seem like they've crossed the demarcation line from sanity to lunacy.
I'm having trouble with all of it, Sevi. Look, if we're all told to wear party hats and shove a flute up your ass and pull your pants down around your ankles and make your eyes spin in opposite directions, and 99% of the population did it, and then someone says, you know what, this is kind of stupid, let's stop, and everyone pulls the flute out of their ass and pulls their pants up and quits spinning their eyes around. And I have a limited capacity for celebrating the end of that.
Yeah, right. It seems like a South Park episode, right? Yeah, some of the shit he's saying is like, wow, how are these such monumental tasks that the president's compete?
Yeah, thank God for it, but we don't understand what happened, and so it could pretty clearly happen again.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Tomorrow, it's all back, all of it. Right. DEI, it's in. No, that was wrong. It's like chasing hemlines or haircuts, or trying to decipher the lyrics of Taylor Swift.
Pat Lang, it's a fairly extreme example there, Greggy. You think that what Greg said is more extreme than putting male prisoners in with female prisoners in the same prison cell and the woman getting raped and then
boys and girls sports?
Yeah, I don't think that's more extreme than putting a flute up your ass
and spinning your eyes in opposite directions and mumbling, speaking in tongues. I don't.
Or how about the one kid who raped a girl and then they moved him in a girl's bathroom, and instead of kicking him out of the school district or putting him in jail, they just switched him to a different school where he raped another girl. And then the dad protested at the school board meeting and he got arrested by the FBI. This is some wild shit. I mean, it really is South Park. It's like X-rated South Park. Yeah, I see what you're saying. It's hard for you to get excited when someone's like, hey, let's just stop the raping of women in high schools. Oh, fuck, brilliant. Great leadership.
It gets me quickly into that space. My eldest daughter is here. She's a wonderful human being. But she asked her mom once if she could have a cookie. And the answer was no. It's almost bedtime. And she says, I won't tip over the Christmas tree if you'll give me a cookie. And I fucking love that. The rewards, that you get for the bad things you didn't do.
Right.
What a gold mine that is. And it kind of feels like that for me. Okay, so like, hey, look, stop. It's crazy. All right, this whole mask thing's nuts.
Yeah.
And like, okay, and I'm looking around, the people still wearing them, and I see in them what I saw in everyone, and that is a mindless terror. They have a look on their face that would be like the look of my face if you walked up behind me and fired a fucking 45 round in the air. Like you can see it, and the only thing left on their face, their eyes. You can see their terror. And then there's always that, if you don't, it's probably they have really like rotten fucking teeth or something. You know what I mean? There's people with oral issues where the mask thing is, thank God we're all doing this.
Is there really people who do that?
It's got to be. Like if you're like a 10 until you smile, then you're a 2. You need a mask, right? Wasn't this a Bugs Bunny deal?
I don't remember, but that's funny.
You remember the sexy bunny in the Shador, and they a buck tooth and shit. Those Bugs Bunny guys were Islamophobes, I think. You remember that the Africans were always cooking you in a pot.
Yes.
They had a bone in their nose. Remember that?
Yeah. Oh man.
It was understandable to the Western ideology, except they had Elmer Fudd in the fucking pot too. Just the bunny.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot about all that shit. That shit was fucking hilarious. You're so ugly, you need a mask. Wear it.
I would think there's got to be. Right?
Yeah. How about when he called? I'm assuming Elizabeth at one point Elizabeth Warren yelled something and Trump heard it and he referenced her as Pocahontas.
He's got the acerbic wit of a 95-pound third grader.
Right.
It's great. And I liked the comedian, what's his name? He was like, in the debate, he says, I didn't know you could do that. Where he says that what's his name, had a dog wife.
Oh, yeah. Trump. Who did Trump say that about?
Yeah.
Who did he say it about?
Ted Cruz's wife, I think.
Oh man.
You have a dog wife, Ted. So he's got this smoking hot wife, and he's making fun of guys whose wives don't look like penthouse models.
Who are penthouse models?
That's a funny thing. That's a funny thing in and of itself.
Yeah, for me that crosses the line a little bit.
I mean, me and Pat Lang aren't maybe always comfortable with it, but I wasn't comfortable with the other shit either.
Right.
I had problems with the guy that was clearly cognitively incapacitated, and it wasn't cool to talk about it. That bothered me more.
Mm. And it should. A guy with the nuclear codes, a guy running the free world and letting 23-year-old blue-haired girls make decisions for him.
Right. Chicks that dot their I's with hearts. If you give them a ride in your car, your seat smells weird for months.
Look at this. I saw this lady. I don't know if you're going to be able to see this. I'll pull this up. This isn't a great picture, but I saw this lady sitting in the crowd yesterday, and I looked her up. Let me see if I can make this bigger.
That's a dude.
I wish that was a dude. That is a that's Congresswoman Rosa DeLauro. She's a Democrat from Connecticut. and she's in her 18th term. It's crazy. It's Hey, you know what's funny is they were talking about all last week it was talking about how fucked up it was, the Dems. I watched a lot of CNN, and they're talking about how fucked up what happened in the Oval Office, and it's an embarrassment to the country, et cetera, et cetera. Boy, if there's anything that was an embarrassment to the country, it was her and her buddies making a ruckus while the president of the United States was speaking.
Yeah, let me be fair. You realize if she spoke like Hayek, I would be all about her and get the green glasses.
Right.
Like I'm not even slightly bothered by it.
But we know what it represents. We know she doesn't.
Yeah, if you get out of your Prius and you put your shopping cart back where in the place where you're supposed to put them when you're done with it, and you smile and you're intelligent and articulate and have a grown-up sense of economics, I'm pretty impressed. I'm a little bit surprised.
Right.
I mean, I get our assumptions and stereotypes for sure.
Yeah, strictly stereotypically speaking, I'm not saying anything.
But it's entirely gone at the moment of some kind of utterance that isn't of what I'd expect. Right?
Dude,
and I know you to be that way too.
Yeah. I like people who have their own aesthetic and who are beaten to their own drummer. But I guarantee you that she's all for boys and girls' locker rooms and chopping the penises off of little boys.
Oh, for sure. Drives a Prius.
Yeah.
He's probably stealing money. Yeah.
Marjorie Taylor Greene swings. She's a swinger.
I don't know, but she's one of those people I'm supposed to hate, and I'm trying to figure out why, and I no one's been able to introduce me to any reason why.
Yeah, I really like her. I really like her.
Well, right?
Pardon me?
She was an affiliate.
Yeah, I think she owned an affiliate with Travis Mayer, and during the Rosie years, I think she got CrossFit caught some strays because she was affiliated with CrossFit. But she's great. And I think her constituents absolutely love her. I think her victories are like just completely dominating. I would say of all the people that I've heard speak, she appears to have maybe some of the strongest values, her and Macy in Congress. I mean, she seems uncorruptible.
I knew we were supposed to hate Rush Limbaugh and that you could hang in an environment where everyone did, right? And then one day I made the mistake of listening to him, and what a shock that was. But I also had to come to terms within just a matter of seconds as to why it was that he was hated. And I was hearing it. He was funny. He was self-deprecating, articulate, rational, and funny. And the only response the left has for that is venom, censorship, hatred, mischaracterization, clucking and flapping.
He was smart too, right? Like very smart, sharp
Guy.
Yeah, articulate,
self-effacing, funny.
Did you see? I just saw it this morning. I didn't grab the clip, but I guess just prior to Trump speaking, or just after, like 32 Dems in Congress all put out the same video where they say the same thing. They're all holding these little microphones and they're looking into the camera and they read from a script, right? Basically just bashing Trump. And I'm thinking, don't they realize that that's what they've been doing the last 12 years, and the American people are fed up with it. And I don't know, maybe I just live in a bubble, but they've been caught so many times just reading from the script, and that's not what the American people want anymore. So we now live in a world of the podcast, information world, and they just want authenticity, and they want to just hear people talk. Do you think that they're just off their rocker doing that? And now everyone on Instagram is making fun of them. You know what I mean? They're putting all the clips together and showing that they're just fucking talking heads. They're just nothing.
I mentioned Limbaugh, and that one of my very early exposures to him was my introduction to the language, the term talking points.
Mm-hmm. Oh, he created that term?
As far as I know, I hadn't heard it prior to that. I was about as well read as anybody, and I don't have recollection of that. It was new to me, and it has kind of a built-in irony. It's like gender affirming healthcare. I don't know, there's something about it that makes me smile. But what his crew did was collected that giant chunk of verbiage that demonstrates statistically proof positive that this has the same origin. And so these 15 lines, and he'd have 30 different people saying the same fucking thing. And it was funny. And it was also weird to me that I'd get up in the morning and check an email, and when put cameras on me, this is what I'm supposed to say. I mean, I was making workouts for millions of people, but I couldn't imagine if you can at all get yourself on camera, here's what you need to say, especially when it's bullshit. Some 15-year-old girl that dots her eyes with a heart and wears some perfume because Taylor Swift is selling it.
And that is what it is. It's substanceless shit that they're saying. You know why?
It's Orwellian.
I remember as a kid, we would always watch the State of the Union at my house. I remember it from, Jimmy Carter, Clinton, Obama, all of them. And I remember the first time I heard a Trump State of the Union, and it was the first time I heard a State of the Union where I didn't leave with anxiety. And I liked those other guys, right? I voted for them. I was programmed to like them. But every time I would listen to their State of the Unions, I would have this impending doom. I'd be like, oh, shit, everyone's going to die of AIDS, or fuck, the economy's in a bad space, or fuck, I'm going to get fucking drafted and have to go fight in Iraq. And then I remember the first time I heard Trump do a State of the Union, and I was like, oh, shit. I'm ready to go outside and kick some ass and work hard and mow some fucking lawns. And you know what I mean? I'm ready to edit a video. I'm ready to go work out. And I appreciate the optimism and the excitement and the forward thinking and the vision. You know what I mean? I don't remember hearing other presidents putting a vision forward. I don't even remember really Reagan doing that. I would need to go back and listen to him. I know you're not big on motivational speakers, but I like him. I'm inspired. Like I went to bed last night thinking, yeah, fuck yeah, let's kick ass. Let's be good. Let's make money. Let's help other people. I think it's there's he's speaking what's the term? Speaking into reality. He speaks things into reality. I know that's a little wooey self-help book shit, but that's what I get from him. The team's ready to go, and look at the U.S. military. I think young men love that shit too. That's why the what did he say? People signing up to be in the armed services is higher than it's been in 15 years. My friends who are in the military is like, dude, the mood is completely changed. People actually like coming to work. He said it's wild. I mean, I definitely think speeches like that are good for young men. And thoughts on that?
Are you seeing more people pulled over all of a sudden?
Like cops pulling people over?
Yeah.
I haven't noticed that. I feel like I don't see cops. I feel like once I turn 40, I never see cops anymore. But when I was 16, they were everywhere. Okay. Are you seeing more people pulled over, you think?
No, but I'm hearing that from people.
Like the cops are less afraid now?
I don't know. I don't know what to attribute it to. But those that have brought it up, like Holdsworth was saying, that when you come down from Prescott down to Phoenix now, that's routinely you see people pulled over and you didn't used to.
Well, I thought that the road between Prescott and Phoenix was all cameras. Do they still have those?
Sure is when you get into town.
But pardon me?
It sure is when you get into town.
Yeah, but I
eventually came to learn where all of the cameras were.
Did your cars warn you about the cameras? Like as you're driving, do they say? Yeah. I didn't know this, but I think in California, it's so. I just read this recently. It's illegal if I see a cop and I high beam you and warn you about it, that's illegal.
What is that?
You know, like if let's say you're driving down the road and you see a cop and he's radaring people the other direction.
Yeah.
High beam them and warn them. You know, that little, or Dale Saran taught me the thing. You just tap your roof and that lets you know that there's a cop. I heard that's illegal. Have you heard that?
I would expect that in California.
Yeah. That's fucking wild. Good morning, Coach.
Eating.
Did you follow the story in Scotland with the you can't pray in your house story?
I think I heard about it from you.
Yeah, if you're within 200 meters of a abortion clinic, you can't be praying. You're not allowed to pray. And then they're like, oh, so people can't pray in their house. And the lady who wrote the bill is like, yes, you can. And then the guy's like, well, what if you're in your window in your living room and someone walks by and sees you praying? And she's like, it would depend who's walking by. And all of a sudden it's like, what the fuck? That's a law in Scotland. They have thought police laws. How about that one, Pat? You say I'm too focused on kids getting diddled, girls getting diddled. You don't think that's a big issue? The government facilitating and being docents to fucking men who have a penchant, an unquenchable penchant for diddling little girls. You're saying that I'm hyper focused on that. How about the thought police shit? What do you think about that? Not a big deal either. It's just a 200-meter swath. Crazy. And I was getting freaked out because I thought the Republicans. Remember how I told you I'm like, hey Greg, the Republicans are fucking passing thought police laws in New York, and you're like, really? Which Republicans? And I went back and studied it, and it's Democrats. It's the Democrats who are trying to outlaw like the Hamas flag and Hezbollah flag. So they want to make it a felony if you have that flag. Heather Reed, Sevi, I live in Scotland and that's not a thing. Heather, I don't live in Scotland and that is a thing. It's only in the exclusion zones. I understand. Around the hospitals. Yep, I get it. And does not affect people in houses. I saw the lady who wrote the bill being interviewed. And she said, actually, if you are that close and you're in your window of your house, it is a problem. And hey, here's the thing. Here's the thing, Heather, too. Isn't it weird that you're saying, and I don't mean to pick on you, but like you should be able to pray wherever the fuck you want. It doesn't matter.
Exactly right.
Exactly
right.
Like it doesn't.
Exactly right.
Not being able to pray.
It doesn't matter if the exclusion zone is the size of a postage stamp. We'll worry on the boundaries later. I just need you to pull your pants down, bend over, and put your fucking mask on, and we'll talk about what comes next later. And she's there. She's got her mask on and her pants pulled down, bent over. No, it's actually cool. You can actually read the paper better from this posture.
Like, what if you
by acceptance of the exclusion zone?
what if you were getting the abortion and while they're fucking vacuuming the baby out of your pussy, you start praying to God and you accidentally pray out loud and they hear you? Do they finish killing the baby and then take you to jail? I mean, it's just.
I had a buddy who's lying for people that were having.
Heather agrees with that. Yeah, good point. She says
people that were having inordinate and obvious trouble with a hallucinogenic experience. My buddy'd say, "Ain't cool, flip here, man." And I fucking love that. Ain't cool, flip here.
Like you're in a McDonald's on acid.
Yeah,
you're losing your shit.
Here, ain't cool, flip here. Look, it's police. Let's go talk to him. Ain't cool, flip here, dude. That's my exclusion zone.
You know, there's people who've done that too, so high on mushrooms and think it's going to be cute to go talk to the police, and fucking their next thing they know, they're doing the rest of their trip in a cell.
A friend of mine was pulled over, and the cop says, "Do you realize you were speeding?" He reaches into his pocket and gives him a bundle of meth and says, "I'm sorry." We played for years with, what do you think he heard? My witness, his brother, was sitting in the seat next to him, not driving. Dear God, you didn't just do that. Do you realize you're speeding? Yeah, yes, here. I'm sorry. How's he know?
I was in college. I was just broken up with this girl. Been like a month since I'd been dating her, and then I was walking down the street with one of my buddies, and we're just having just a regular, normal conversation. You know, like, hey, what are you doing now? Or do you want to go play frisbee? And he stops, looks at me, and goes, "Fuck, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to fuck her." And like he had started dating my ex-girlfriend, but like somehow like it just, you know what I mean? Like like something happened in the conversation where he thought like I was like, "Do you want to play frisbee?" was code for like now he feels guilty because he's fucking my ex. I'm like, chill, dude. He starts crying. I'm like, it's okay. Chill, Austin. What was Austin's last name? Austin Palmer Smith. Chill. It's okay. Mr. Glassman, what do you think about the programmers excluding high-skill gymnastics movements? Trish, you got to ask that question again. That needs context. What do you think about the programmers excluding high-skill gymnastic movements because average people don't need it? Handstand, push-ups, ring muscle-ups. What's HSW?
Handstand push-ups.
Handstand
HSW. I'm sorry. Yeah, well, I don't know what RMU is or HSW.
What do you mean, for the cabinet members or for who? What are you talking about? Trish, give me another $5. I'll read it again.
You know, I didn't expect setting up a block and tackle above the rings. I didn't know why I was doing it. It was entertaining for me for sure.
I don't get that. Wait, explain it to me. What's a block and tackle?
Multiple pulleys, so there's an efficiency. So I had a setup where I could have pulled 1,000 pounds easily upward. But what I had to do was pull 5 feet of rope to get 1 foot elevation. So so I could pull anybody into a handstand on the rings, mm-hmm. and then give a little slack. But when they fell, I had to pull like a motherfucker to be there in time. And what was shocking to me, and it was shocking, was a family member of a client that is likely to find himself in a handstand on the rings as anyone 75 pounds overweight would be. Just let that contextualize it all. And his story is that when the gymnastics came on the Olympics, he stops the channel stands in front of the TV and makes everyone listen to the fact that he's done that before. It was the parallel bars, not the rings, but for him, it was like the fucking Olympics. He couldn't believe it. And it was a cool thing. It was so I don't know what the need is there. What's the need of a guy to do a handstand on the rings who's 75-pound overweight? The need was mine, but he got a lot out of it. It gave him bragging rights the next time the Olympics were on TV. It was interesting.
Trish, are you talking about in gyms or like in the open, or like what are you talking about? Just in, I need a little more context of what you're referencing. I haven't checked the.
I put a pretty good effort into getting everyone that was even remotely capable of supporting themselves inverted. I tried to get everyone upside down. There are obvious people that didn't, but
exactly in gyms, yes. For instance, CompTrain is doing away with all of those movements. Oh no shit. Yeah, CompTrain is selling all their high skill equipment last week. Oh shit!
What's the high skill and who's CompTrain?
It's Ben Bergeron. Ben Bergeron is has his own CrossFit now. Instead of like foundational movements, he has these Venn diagrams and he has like 9 different core tenets. And I guess he's gotten rid of handstand push-ups. Really, even handstand push-ups. What if you go to prison? You're gonna need those, or if you're in a hotel room, you need those. Ring muscle ups. You need ring muscle ups. Changed my life. Of all the things I learned in CrossFit, except for just the probably the metabolic capacity, the high intensity. The next best thing I ever did, next best thing that I've adapted into my behavior is ring muscle ups.
We put wooden rings on rubber bands, and it was a brilliant idea until it wasn't. I mean, the problem was the projectile, right?
Oh, put rubber bands on wooden rings. You mean as like an assist for the ring muscle up?
And we also put rings on a rope over a pulley system with a weight, so that you could do a muscle up with a 10-pound load.
Augustus Link, handstand push-ups keep you from becoming someone's bitch in prison.
I don't get that.
I don't get it either, but I just like that it has prison in it and bitch. So I started doing CrossFit, right? And then and I did, and I remember Greg saying negatives will make you strong. And so I hung some rings under an outside staircase at my dad's house, and I just started doing tons of negative ring muscle ups. So I would jump up to the top and then just lower back with my false grip. I did that for a few months, and then before I knew it, one day, and I never tried a muscle up, and then one day I did a muscle up, and I'll never forget. There was a trip I was going somewhere to film. I think I was in Baltimore or somewhere, and I was flying there, and I had to make a stop somewhere, and the plane got all fucked up. So they got everyone off the plane and they put us in hotels one night. So they load us up onto this big bus and they drive us to the hotel. There's like 100 people in line at this hotel. And the hotel lady says, "Hey, this hotel is booked. All of you have to walk over to this other hotel." And so I'm going with my roller bag, and there's a chain link fence, high chain link fence between the two hotels, and everyone has to go way out and around it. And I remember I just walked right over to it and climbed over it. And I was a faggoty little kid. Sorry for using that term, but in that way, but I was a bitch little kid. I would have never climbed a fence. When all my friends would climb a fence and eat their lunch sitting on top of the fence, I would never do that. I was scared or didn't think I was strong enough. And I remember I was like, fuck it, I'm just going over that fence. Threw my luggage over, climbed over the fence. I was the first person in the hotel room. I got to bed by midnight while everyone else was still in line. And I was like, holy, I'd never have done that if I couldn't do a ring muscle up. And it's not some like life-saving shit. I didn't save a baby from a burning building, but that was a huge moment for me. It was like, hell yeah. Done. I can't imagine if someone has why would you take ring muscle ups out? Negative ring muscle ups
What's
are
Ben
nice.
Bergeron up to? It's a name I just haven't heard in forever.
I could show you something. It's gonna make you sad. This is I watched this clip this morning of him, and it made me sad. This is him on.
What's the expectation?
So before I go, let me just tell you the journey that I've heard. So comes onto the CrossFit scene, falls in love with it, has huge success, is always quoting you, writes a successful book. Half the times he quotes you, he gives you credit, but he gets blamed for the other half the times he doesn't give you credit. But he's always been a huge Glassmanite, so that's cool. And then he's the only coach to ever have 2 CrossFit Games champions in 1 year. He had Katrin and Matt, and he had this thing called Comp Train, and he was killing it, and his book was killing it, and everything. And then he was being paraded around as having cracked the code on how to have a successful gym that made a shitload of money, right? That he had cracked that code. Well, then all of a sudden he fell from grace. People started just calling him out on his bullshit. And like he would one of his athletes was working out. He was throwing dirt on her to simulate like hardship. And that didn't go, that was like the beginning. That was kind of like the beginning of the end for him, like, hey, this dude's fucking a dork. And then publicly, I think he came out and admitted that like, hey, while he was the poster child for successful gyms, his gym actually wasn't successful. He wasn't making any money from his gym. And he kind of like, it had to come to Jesus moment and ask for forgiveness for that, is the way I heard the story. And then all of his athletes started leaving him, and he got left with, and one time, another big pivotal moment is 1 year when one of his athletes won the games and another one won the Spirit of the Games. He said, hey, it's more important to me the athlete that wins the Spirit of the Games. And the community's like, what the fuck? Fuck the Spirit of the Games. This shit's, you got to win this shit. You know what I mean? And then he's just been, it seems like just flailing. And then shit like, and then so he de-affiliated last week, I guess. And then he went on this podcast. Yeah, he de-affiliated last week. And once again, you don't know why he de-affiliated. He just says stuff, they don't follow my core values, or no one's ever like, it's because fucking Dave killed Lazar and I'm fucking pissed and I'm not fucking going to put up with that bullshit anymore. I've given Dave a list of 10 things I want to change. Here they are. And then no one ever says that. You know what I mean? It's always these just fucking cloud in the sky. It's just retard talk. But here we go. I saw this morning and I was like, what the fuck happened to Ben?
Is that him at the top?
Yeah. Tell me if you can make any sense of this.
Fuck, I wouldn't have spotted him if he'd come up to me.
Yeah, listen to this.
The last interaction, or the last thing I remember hearing of him was someone was telling me about a TED talk he did, and I heard it described, and it sounded like my up at Harvard Business School that I invited him to.
Yeah, he
and I thought that was kind of cool.
Yeah, he definitely, is a huge fan of your work. It's people just get frustrated if he doesn't give you credit all the time. I want to say that I've seen him give you credit a lot of time, but I've also seen him not give you credit a lot of time. But it's like, I say a lot of the things you say too, so maybe I just feel defensive about that.
Yeah, I'm not even the least bit offended at someone turning something I invited them to into a TED talk.
Yeah, and I'm not trying to steal your shit, but I'm just around you so much, and you say so much cool shit that I just like to say it. Okay, here we go. And maybe these two hosts, Tommy and Lauren, hate Ben, and so they picked this clip to show to the world because they want to burn Ben. Like I don't know why they chose it. That's Tommy Marquez on the left, and that's Lauren Khalil on the right. The girl's Lauren, the boy's Tommy. Okay, here we go.
Is how you act in times of crisis. It's how you act when you're challenged. It's when things go against you. When you have to kind of buckle down and show your true colors. We have 3 core values. One of our core values is strong character. It's like I didn't see strong character coming from the organization. If our values aren't aligned, you're not every single small little thing along the way is going to be challenging, more challenging than it should be. And what we want to do is set up an environment that is a group of people that surround each other with people that support them, want to see them win, challenge them, call them on their crap. No drama, no gossip, no negativity, just good vibes and growth. Well, we haven't been able to do that in the outside of these walls in this, because there's been lots of trauma. There's been lots of toxicity. There's been lots of negativity. We have that choice of whether to involve ourselves in that or not. So the choice I've made is to rip that Band-Aid off. This is a hard part. I'm going to bleed a little bit. Like doing these types of conversations, they're hard. Doing the conversation with my members, they're hard. But on the other side of this, we will fall back into surrounding ourselves with people that want to see us win, support each other, love each other. Character.
In the comments, he gets destroyed. Someone said, "Holy shit, does he have the same speechwriter as Kamala?"
Does he what?
Does he have the same speechwriter as Kamala? I mean, this just went up 15 hours ago, and he's just getting fucking destroyed. And it's like, yeah, like I understand why the woke crowd likes it, because he says a bunch of vague shit where you can plug in your own. You know what I mean? You can kind of pretend like you understand what he's saying.
Yeah.
But holy shit, dude. That's like going to the store and buying a bag of M&Ms. You get to your car and open it, and it's empty. It's like, it's just so that's look at look at Disseldinger, Elizabeth Disseldinger, word salad. Yeah, it's like, yeah, I wasn't even sure if I should show that, because I knew it was going to be, he's such a fucking clown. Yeah,
that was a hard watch.
Yeah, and he's not. I don't think of Ben as a dummy. But I think he's been spending too much time. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what this means, but it's pretty funny. Sleeky, Ben Bergeron, the human high five. I don't know what that is, but I used to love Ben. So sad since COVID, where he ended up. Yeah, he did some weird shit during COVID too. Some real weird shit. And you remember he was like during Floyd 19, he was like, trying to cozy up to you and like figure out a way to get his hands on the company. He's all talk, pumps you up, but no action. Just no substance. So that's where the poor guy's at.
He might have been on that kind of Julie and Jason team in the wanting to buy the company.
Julie Fouché and Khalifa.
Mm-hmm.
They got so excited. Hey, there's a lot of talk about the company selling again, and a lot of people have been, talking about it. A lot of podcasts on it, and I was thinking, I think that the new owners have to be very, very careful, because if you sell this again, you might lose another 20, because it's down from when you had it 15,000 affiliates to like 10,000, and which I don't think is a bad thing. I think that I think at some point, you were like, fuck it, we need to get rid of half these fucking affiliates, right? Like, but that's because you had values and a vision, and you wanted everyone to be on the same page. You didn't like the affiliates who were like, it's impossible to not eat sugar, or so, but the new owner might buy this shit, and it might 25 of the 100 of the best affiliates might break off. Would that be a concern of yours? Like a second sale? Because this thing's like a family, right? There's only so many divorces you can handle. What?
A concern of mine?
So if you were the sorry, if you were the new owner purchasing.
Yeah, okay.
But not you, Greg Glassman. Just someone, like just someone out, like who's just we don't know who they are, like a Rosa or a who owns it now? Barclays Bank or Berkshire. Would that be a concern of yours? Like how like there, you know what I mean? There's only so many splits. This thing's not like, it's not like M&Ms where you can just everyone just, and the next guy who owns it just keeps making M&Ms. You know what I mean? Like you buy someone's lawn care company, right? And they have 400 clients, and all you have to do is keep the same value or better, and you probably keep all the clients. You change the lawnmower and it's a louder lawnmower, you might fucking lose a few of the clients, right? But this thing's not like that. This CrossFit thing.
Yeah, this is the second or third time this has kind of flown through my head in this talk in this show this morning. But there's a level of introspection that you don't associate with authenticity. Like the guy that's wearing chaps and spurs and a cowboy hat, and he's out at 5 a.m. to drive some cows. He doesn't have a full-length mirror in the closet. He's not examining his cowboyness.
Right.
Do these chaps make my ass look fat? There's none of that going on.
Right.
And I was kind of like that guy. I was doing that thing. I mean, it started by putting a workout on the internet. And just because there's 15,000 affiliates doesn't mean that I'm now have an obligation or there's some advantage to being something different than who it was that put these up there.
Right.
I'm so glad I'm not running this fucking thing.
I'm going to tell you a funny story. So when Rosa bought the company, I don't know if you know this story, but they started putting the women's weights first. This is like what Trump's doing too. It's kind of funny. They started putting the women's weights first.
Meaning,
like it would say, like when you program a workout, it would say Fran, and then it would say 95-65. Well, when the DEI crowd bought the company, they switched it to 65-95. And now it's back to 95-60. Just recently. I think what happened is they hired a new chief marketing officer, and she's like, we're done with this shit. We're done with the DEI shit. I think that's what happened. Insignificant, I know, doesn't matter.
No, I mean yeah, I get it. It's a trip.
Are you going to 25.2? People I keep telling people that me and you are going to go, but I don't really know if we're going to go. Like I know me and you, and like if we're driving there and then we see something that distracts us, we'll be like, oh, let's go do that.
Yeah, I would love to know how close it is.
Yeah, I think it's 45 minutes.
Yeah, that doesn't sound very likely.
Yeah. All right. If you can't go there in the moke, you're not going.
Kind of. Yeah. I'd ride my bike or call up Mike and get the plane. I don't know. We drive 40 minutes to KTR for skating.
Mm-hmm.
And I just can't, like, I have this vision of all the skateboarders and skateboard parks and ramps and things we're driving past on the way to where we go.
Like, hey, let's just go here. Get out.
Dude, I've got that fucking wooden monstrosity in the front yard.
Yeah.
That should have been the end of getting in the car with skateboards.
That's a beautiful wooden monstrosity.
Great.
Hi, Greg and Sevi. This is just a great question. What's the best way to improve my 5K time? It's just more 5K runs or 1 and 2K sprint. Lose 20 pounds. That's how I would say increase your pull-ups too. Lose 20 pounds.
Hey, Kath, will you hit up Colleen and tell him to come over here and we'll all figure a place to go to breakfast? Okay. We're going to breakfast, Sevy.
Yeah, very soon.
When we're done with our work here is finished.
Are you bringing your kids?
Yeah.
Oh, good. Okay. They could have their own table. I bring my kids.
Yeah. Tables.
I want to show you this because I think this is apropos to what we were talking about regarding Wellborn and things of that nature. I think this is a really fucking cool story. And this isn't an isolated story. There's fucking thousands of these. There's tens of thousands of these, but on different degrees, right? Some people don't go to the NFL. Some people, I mean, what were the three things, Greg, you used to say? If you start doing CrossFit, you're going to either get a raise at work or quit your job. You're going to start fall in love. You're going to love your wife more. You're going to break up. And then there was a third thing. Do you remember what it was?
No.
It was like so good. I remember it was at my first level 1. I heard you say it. I'm like, holy shit, this guy's fucking crazy. And then I started doing CrossFit and I was like, oh shit, it really is like that. I started making more money, and fucking me and Haley railing better. Like, wow, this is wild. But this is just I just love this story because this is and I remember what was his name? Dusty. Who was the guy who was in the 2008 games? The really little guy, Dusty, cool kid. I forget what, but I go, hey, why do you
California affiliate?
Pardon me?
California affiliate?
No, not Dusty Highland. This guy was a Texas guy. He had an affiliate out of his garage. He trained with Matt Mursky. Anyway, he basically said, hey, if you don't know what you want to do in life, you should for sure be doing CrossFit, because then whatever life offers, you'll be ready for it. So there's no other way to be ready for opportunity than be doing CrossFit. Anyway, check out this. This is a great story here.
Boise State's Ahmed Hassanin.
He's one of my favorite stories in
Why
this
is that?
draft. He grew up in Egypt and ended up coming over to America later on in life. He hasn't played football very much. He started playing competitive football in 2019. He was one of the top CrossFitters in Egypt, and then kind of discovered football as he came over to America. And everybody raves about him at Boise. They rave about him where he's been training. But they said what's funny about him, everybody loves him, but he doesn't know anything really about American college football culture. He saw one of the guys working out, and he said, so you go to ATM? He goes, it's A&M. I go to Texas A&M.
Well, if he runs like that, he's going to an ATM, that's for sure. 4.78.
He is a great kid and productive. He had 9.5 sacks for that Boise team this year.
Oh, interesting. Egyptian Christian. Did you see that? I didn't catch that the first time. Kiss the cross. No wonder he left Egypt. He didn't get fucking killed. Cool though, right?
Yeah, I couldn't. That garbled a lot of that for me.
Basically, kid in Egypt comes to the CrossFitter, one of the best CrossFitters in Egypt. Comes to the United States and sees this game called football. And of course, he's eminently capable because he's fucking one of the top CrossFitters, and parlays that fitness into fucking being at the combine. I don't know if he got drafted or what happened to him. But it's like, yeah.
It's interesting. I may have met him. How old is he?
I don't know. I guess I could. Let me click his link here and see what it says about him. Jesus First, Boise football. He's still going to Boise. Maybe that wasn't the combine. Maybe that was just something. Maybe that was some college drafting. But it looks like he's a starter at Boise State, number 91.
Hey,
I'm gonna get this guy on the show.
do you know who Doug Wilson is, the preacher? Have you seen that guy on anything?
No, like a Christian preacher.
Yeah.
No, if I have, I don't remember. Hey, dude, I do a podcast every morning from 7 a.m. to 8:30 a.m. So I'll talk to you after that. Thank you. Bye. I just told my friend that who called me yesterday at your house.
I call doctor shows all the time.
I've been doing it for 4 years. Yeah, but you usually wait till after 8:30, and then it's just because I'm going on too long. Oh, so Doug Wilson. Tell me, who's Doug Wilson?
He's a Idaho preacher. Let me see if I've got a thing of his.
Doug Wilson Church. Is he cool?
He's brilliant, I think.
Oh yes. How do I find a church with a spine? Yes, State of Church. You sent me this guy's stuff. Why are conservatives leaving churches? Doug Wilson. Yeah, he's good. Oh, was he? Oh,
You want to go? You want to go have lunch with him?
yeah, breakfast. Oh, with Doug Wilson?
Yeah.
Yeah, fuck yeah, hell yeah, yeah.
Look what I got.
I like most of the God people. Hi, Remington. Good morning. 6 months.
Yes.
6 months, Greg.
Don't shit your pants. Yeah, April 1st, I think, is the date. I was just a matter of the bird being out of the shop, and it is. So I think I'll go up.
Oh, yeah, I definitely want to do it. Greg, is that your grandchild?
Yeah. Right. How Maggie?
You're so funny. You're so funny.
Yeah, you should see my daughter.
He's younger than the boogers in Sevon's nose, someone said.
This is the easiest baby that ever was.
Dale King. Got room for one more with Doug?
Yeah, Dale. I would, actually. I mean, let's see what we can do.
Need a bigger table at lunch.
Oh, you can't see? Stand up.
Hey, listen, Josh, you don't get to say too many things. You got in the grandfather crack. All right, that's cool. And then you can't say Doug Wilson's all right. You can't.
Yeah, give a $1.99 for guys.
Yeah, like what the fuck, dude? Come on, dude. I'm almost ready to send you to Reddit. We already got David Weed. We don't need you, Mr. Josh.
Okay, Sebby, let's go get breakfast.
All right.
Sebby, we're gonna go to the Ho.
Oh, for breakfast.
Yeah, and there's gonna be dozens of us. So
yeah. I love the Ho for boys, get dressed. Okay. Cool?
Yeah, she doesn't have to come here if we're going over there. Yeah, so what else?
I had a dream Greg slipped me the wormwood. I had a dream that Greg slipped me some black wormwood oil in a car ride and said it would help.
Well, it will.
I don't know what that is, but that's a great dream. Wormwood oil.
I have no idea either, but I'm warming to the idea. There's something there that works.
Are you sure it wasn't white wormwood oil?
You remember Will Wright's, it was Dr. Wright's rude oil. He was talking about Dr. Wright's rude oil before he became a physician.
You had to put that project on hold.
What the fuck?
Said the black wormwood sounds racist. I don't know. It sounds big to me.
Heidi's cool.
Yeah, she is cool. She's one of the wittiest ones in the chat. Okay, one more dream. I had a nightmare that a car pulled up to me and the baby in the car seat was Taylor Self. Wow.
Taylor's your Kill Taylor?
Yeah. A baby killed Taylor.
His last name is
Self.
Really?
Yeah. What do you think about that? Oh, that's a nice last name, right?
I've never heard of such a last name.
I have very bad karma on Reddit for defending you. All right.
Is there a chief spot on Reddit for CrossFit things?
There, like you can go there and type in the word CrossFit and it like curates all the CrossFit shit.
I don't. Oh, does it?
Yeah, and it's basically there. I do my darndest never ever to go over there. I think it's just a fucking cesspool of pedophiles. But anytime someone sends me a screenshot, I've never seen anything nice about you or me over there. Like never. It's never like, oh my God, my mom found CrossFit and now. Oh, by the way, my mom's 11th in the world in her age bracket out of 36 in the Open.
That's super cool.
That is cool, right?
Yeah.
11 out of 36 women, 80 to 85. I'm the 11th fittest woman in the world at over 80.
Yeah,
It's
that's
badass.
That's super cool.
I know. I'm so proud of her. Yeah, what someone said it's called the CrossFit subreddit. I don't know what that is, but hey, people tell me they have to lock the threads over there. I guess you're not allowed to like talk about violence, but they have to lock the threads over there regularly because it just gets so fucking like I want to slap him or hit him or spit on him. But it is very, very left leaning. Do you know what I mean? Like that whole group thinks that like. CrossFit in their rule book this year said that transgender, not even transgender, basically whatever you're born as, you have to compete in that division. And CrossFit has that rule in the rule book this year. And the way these people hear it is that you're banning trannies. And it's like, you know what I mean? Everything's twisted over there. It really is retardville. So they're the ones who took the clip out of context when we were laughing about games athletes, and they put it that we were laughing at Lazarus' death, and it's like, you guys are fucking idiots.
So guys, I was asked if we were mourning George Floyd's death, and I had to respond with no, not really. And it was interesting later that came up with I don't think it was the name, but it's an inappropriate response to mourn the death of someone that you didn't know or have emotional ties to. You don't get to just go through the paper and look at the obituaries and this guy, Roberta Smith. Oh, I'm going to cry and pretend to be concerned.
You'd be crying a lot if you mourned every fentanyl death.
Yeah, I've seen that shit come home, and it's horrible for people. There's all kinds of, and I thought it was more the issue whether the justice or injustice to him mattered more than any emotional sentiment I might have regarding him, a perfect stranger.
It was the noble crowd that mourned him, the noble athletes, the Katrin David's daughters, the Brooke Lachey's, the Justin Medeiros. It was that crowd that mourned George Floyd, and yet now today the shoe company that they adored so much and dressed up for and made 1,000 posts for condones a podcast where the host said men who wear skinny jeans and a size 6 shoe should be raped.
Oh, was that the context? He was talking about men?
Well, I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. What did you think? Did you think women? I thought it was men.
I didn't know what he was talking about.
I didn't know women wore skinny jeans. I thought skinny jeans was a male phenomenon, so I don't know.
Here's where my head went. I was trying to imagine, because I mean, it's conceivable it's the funniest joke you've ever heard, but you missed the setup, right?
Right.
It's like the no soap radio punchline, you know? I mean, maybe it worked, maybe it didn't, but I don't know. It seems unlikely to have been funny. But this is the Barstool Sports guy, right?
Yeah, and his audience there was fucking,
what
18.
do you expect of him? Why do we expect anything of him?
Right. But people were saying, like, why are you judging him? I'm not judging him. I'm making the connection that Noble had this holier than thou, like, oh my God, you better take the vaccine or you can't come to work and you'll die. And we support gay people and transgender people and any sexual shit you got going on, no matter what. And if you don't, you're a monster. And just all this fucking crazy shit that they were involved in, forcing the DEI shit down our throat, virtue signaling at every chance. And now all of a sudden they're aligned with this dude. And it's like, hey, I think wishing rape on people crosses the demarcation line of like like way past me saying that I think men shouldn't play in women's sports. Like I think that's just common sense. Like if you had to choose between, okay, we're going to rape that group of people or we're going to let them play in that sport, I'm going with let them play in that sport. Like if those are my only two choices. And there's a lot of shit in between before people start getting raped. A lot. Forcibly holding someone down and putting your cock in them is a no-go. So, any closing words from you?
Jiu-jitsu tournament.
Pardon me?
If you enter a jiu-jitsu tournament as a woman,
Mm-hmm.
and you hurt one of my girls, and it turns out you have a penis,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what my response to that would be.
But it would be on this side of happy to unhappy.
Yeah, I'd probably surprise myself at my response. I'd probably lose some Reddit fans.
Right. Maybe even have to pay a fine and stay the night somewhere.
That could be community service or something.
Yeah.
But I can't imagine it. And I don't even have the interest or time to explain that. Like if you need that explained to you, we're hopeless.
Oh God, I would love to talk. This is a great comment. We don't have time to talk about this. I need to ask Greg this question. Bring this up next Wednesday when Greg's on. This is wild. Did you see what Bezos did, limiting what editorials can be about in the Washington Post?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a great question. I would love to hear Greg's take on this. Are people waiting for us to go to breakfast?
Yeah, we're right at that point, but this is interesting. Trump didn't just pump the brakes on postmodernism. He was a brick wall. Bezos newspaper even just rehonored their editorial. Yeah, I think a lot of these guys, if we just tell them exactly what to do and say and how to think, and like poor Bill Clinton, just tell me what I have to do and say to be popular, and I'll do it.
He's only allowing people to editorialize on two subjects. One of them is like the importance of liberty, and there was a second one. I was like, holy shit, he's going hard. Post owner Bezos. Shit, I want to find it exactly. Do you remember hearing the story?
Yeah. It was anti-censorship and pro-liberty. Right?
Oh, yeah, we're going to be writing every day in support and defense of two pillars: personal liberties and free markets. And he even says in the defense of two pillars, not that we're going to explore like, maybe it's not good to have, but in defense of liberties and free markets. I mean, holy shit, dude. By the way, I heard his readership went down from like 22 million to 2 million or something a day. Before that, not over the last 4 years. And that the only newspaper that's growing, only lib newspaper that's growing has been the Times.
New York Times?
Yeah. But isn't that wild? I mean, doesn't that make you say, I'd like to go over and read those editorials?
It speaks to my values.
Yeah, defense of two pillars: personal liberties and free markets. I mean, they've spent the last fucking 4 years hating on that. I mean, dude, they were race baiting like fucking crazy over there. Like batshit crazy. Anyway, all right. Should we go?
I don't think we could sit here at breakfast now and bring a legal pad and fill it with nostrums and sacred beliefs of the left. And I don't think there's but a handful of people that really believe any of that shit. I mean, what would it be like to go around and tell overweight guys with Hawaiian shirts unbuttoned down to their belly button, wearing big gold chains, that they look like douchebags? I don't like. There's nothing to be had there. They don't really believe those things. What they can't even for a moment imagine is being associated with an opinion that isn't what all the cool guys are doing and thinking.
They're really there. That's where they're at. They're in 6th grade. Like, I just want to be the cool kid.
Exactly like that. Exactly like that. We took liberal family to Book of Mormon, and they're laughing hysterically. And I had to tell them at the intermission, it's a little weird to me, as liberal as you are, that you find this funny. And he explained, I did look around and make sure that I didn't see anyone I knew from Portland. I was like, wow, I wouldn't have guessed that even, but I get it. Yeah. It's all for show.
Yeah.
Why does a guy unbutton his shirt and let his hairy chest hang out and put a big giant gold necklace on and stand and look at 15 different angles in the mirror? And what are you going to do? Talk someone out of that? Dude, you look like a douchebag.
Hey, that's the story. Someone I know who has extremely, like, as far left family as you can imagine. When Lazar Jukic died, their mother said to them, "Hey, what are you going to post about this?" And this acquaintance of mine, this actually dear friend of mine, said, "I'm not going to post anything." And the parent said, "Why not?" And my friend said, "Because I don't know what to post." And he goes, "Well, who cares? What are people going to think if you don't make a post about it?" I'm like, and I heard then I started listening for that, and I started hearing that from games athletes, that there was an obligation to post something for fear of what people might say about you if you didn't. I'm like, holy shit. Holy shit.
I was supposed to be shamed for not being able to conjure up the fucker's name or get the country right.
Right. When that had nothing to do with what we're talking about. I know, they're fucking retards. By the way, did you see what happened? One more thing. Did you see what happened in Serbian parliament yesterday?
No, what happened?
They had a fucking complete melt fucking down. People were throwing smoke bombs in parliament. It's awesome. It's a crazy video.
In Serbia.
Yeah, in Serbia. But that's not where that dude was from, not Denmark, not Bulgaria. Where's Lazar from again? I forget. It's some fucking cool country. Serbian lawmakers throw smoke grenades and tear gas. Let me see if I can find this. Yeah, look at this shit.
All right, you got to check this out. What happened on the floor of Serbia's parliament today? It looked more like an intense clash between rival sports fans rather than a meeting of lawmakers. Take a look at this. This was unbelievable. Members of parliament set off air horns and threw smoke grenades and tear gas in clashes between the opposition and ruling majority. It was opening day of the spring session of parliament, and the chaos just erupted as the opposition.
It's all crazy, right?
It's great.
No, he's not. Lazar's not from Serbia. Where's Lazar from? I don't know why I can't remember right now. I'm usually good at that. Someone tell me where he's from, so at least I can like.
Serbia. No.
Oh, Croatia.
That's what I said, and I had it wrong.
Oh, he is Serbian. Oh, you said Croatia. Okay, now it's funny. He is from Serbia. All right, he is from Serbia. He's from Serbia. Sevan I'm from Serbia too. All right. Milos Popovic. Thank you. All right, guys. If you want to come to breakfast with us, text me. I'll send over an Uber.
Yeah, anyone. If you're in the Phoenix area, let's go to the Valley Ho this morning.
Greg, I wasn't being serious. You're not supposed to say that.
Why not? Is that bad?
I don't know.
if you're close enough to be there while we're still there, hey, you know, I'm getting closer to that kid that met us at the came to the burger joint.
Oh, yeah. He was at your house.
Hey,
He had the wife and the pretty wife and the cool kids.
Yeah.
He was at the Broken Science. Yeah.
Quite a gentleman. Good dude.
Yeah.
All right. I'll see you at breakfast. Let's go.
All right. Cool.
All right. Thank you, everyone.
Yep. Thanks, Greg.
Bye.
I do want to show you this. What was crazy is I just want to show you this. I do think that Ben, I don't know what I think, but I do think that Ben Bergeron, I thought he was smart, and maybe that clip's just out of context. And I thought the kid yesterday, remember that kid that they showed, that 13-year-old kid that's now a Secret Service agent? When I saw him, I thought he was retarded. I thought something was wrong with him. I thought that, like maybe I didn't know what was wrong with him. But this morning I heard this and I had it backwards. Maybe Ben's retarded and this kid's smart. Maybe I'm just a bad judge of character. Listen to this kid talk right here.
You know the craziest part? Because my mom bathes me and my brothers all together. And out of nowhere, I locked up, and then my dad was calling my name, and I started going to the slow thing, and he said, "Stop playing with me." And then I started to act. I ain't gonna lie, I started to act slow. And then as soon as he said that, we was speeding all the way, running lights, going to the hospital. And then next thing you know, I was seizing on the table. They said, "No, we gonna have to go in his brain tonight." Ever since then, I had 13 brain surgeries, and that's how many times my personality has changed. And that's something that you don't hear from a terminally ill child. They had 5 months to live. I'm gonna keep on going into my gas tanks right now. And that's when God calls you home. You never know when God's gonna call you home. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for my dad. I know he's pretty proud of me, and I'm pretty proud of him too. And I'd like to thank President Trump, because if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be here today.
Fucking A. That kid's fucking brilliant. I didn't talk like that at 13. Crazy. Misread him. Misread Mr. Bergeron and misread that kid. Take me down from the pedestal. All right, guys. Love you guys. Wednesday. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.